Hi everyone, welcome to episode 5 of Booze and Art. There's a parrot on the loose in the house, so hopefully this will go off without any interruptions, but I'm not sure.
Awesome. So we're going to talk about two of my favorite things ever, absinthe and unicorns. So we'll start with absinthe. I recommend actually having absinthe while you're hearing me talk about unicorns. So if you have absinthe in the house, please get it out right now and play along. Absinthe, not acid. That too. Why not? Okay, absinthe. So I'm just going to talk about absinthe in general. The absinthe I have in my home is St. George, which is an amazing local distillery in Alameda, California. If you are around, I highly recommend going to go check it out. Michael. Thank you. Sorry. They do great tours and their stuff is amazing. But their absinthe, I've had their absinthe since pretty much the day it was released. I love absinthe because when I was in, I just like it anyway, but because when I was in college, I did a study abroad program in Milan, and 2 blocks away from my place where I was living, there was a after-hours absinthe bar. After-hours absinthe bar just seems like the beginning of many brilliant and very bad ideas, and it was amazing, and it was open till 5 in the morning, and you can bet your, whatever, that I was there almost all the time till close, because I had class at 8 a.m., so that meant I didn't sleep much, but I drank a lot of absinthe. It was awesome. And then I went to the Czech Republic, and I brought absinthe back, and this was in 2003. Yeah, 2003. I brought, which was before absinthe was legal in the United States. It had been legalized in Europe before then, of course, and so production started in a lot of absinthe distilleries back in the 90s. I don't think, the States didn't, I don't know the date, but it was many years later. So I want to say 2010 maybe. So it took a while for the US to catch up, as in most laws dealing with things like this. Yes, it is, John. And so I brought back absinthe from the Czech Republic, and had a great absinthe party with all my friends back in Cleveland, and I was the Green Fairy. It was a Halloween party, and I poured absinthe for everybody. Needless to say, it was an epic evening. So a little bit about absinthe. So there are a lot of misconceptions about absinthe, but we'll start with just what it is. So it's anise flavored. It has fennel, anise, and then wormwood. Wormwood is always the one that gets a bad rap. It was demonized as being hallucinogenic, and that was partly why it became outlawed for so long, because wormwood has something called thujone in it, which has psychedelic properties, but in absinthe it has such trace amounts that it's almost impossible to hallucinate. So when I was in college, friends of mine purchased a kind of a lab still, and we made absinthe from scratch. And I can tell you 100%, while it does get you really nice and bubbly, it does not make you hallucinate. Because I know. And but it was delicious, and it was ridiculous. So we made a clear absinthe. So that's a blau or a blanche, and vert is the green-ish absinthe. So this is kind of a perfect example. See how this isn't green? It's kind of more of like a olive color. So it's that happens because it oxidizes in the bottle. That's how you know that the absinthe is real, and it's not just getting green coloring in it. So there's like gin, it's distilled with a botanical. So there's 2 types. There's a distilled absinthe, and then there's that compound cold mixed absinthe as well. The distilled version is superior, and only Switzerland regulates absinthe as an actual, you know, like process on how to make it. Pretty much anywhere else you can kind of do whatever the heck you want to. So how do you know that it's not just colored with green food coloring? It's because after a while in the bottle it oxidizes. So after you distill it, you add all these botanicals afterwards, and the chlorophyll from those botanicals is what gives it the green color. So after time in bottle, it will get, and a lot of absinthe companies rest their absinthe anyway, so it will change color as it gets older, which is totally normal and super fine and actually good, because it allows those kind of essential oils to kind of ruminate together and become extra super delicious. So yeah, so basically it just got its kind of popularity. It was invented in the 1800s, and it became very, very popular in the 19th and 20th centuries. And, you know, people like Toulouse-Lautrec, Oscar Wilde, Edgar Allan Poe, like Ernest Hemingway, everybody loved absinthe, like all of my favorite people on the planet. So, you know, of course, like I knew I too would love absinthe based on its kind of creative potential. And so, as far as just again, the bad rap and the hallucinogenic properties, nonsense. Like any spirit, any type of alcohol, every type of alcohol gives you a different high, if you will. So if you drink wine as opposed to beer, you're going to feel differently when you get a little buzz, right? If you drink whiskey as opposed to gin, you're going to feel differently. If you drink Fernet, like I had a wonderful long conversation with a dear friend recently about how we don't do Fernet shots anymore because it's just a bad idea. Because while it's delicious as an after dinner digestif, not a good idea like 4 shots in, because all those botanicals get to your head, you know, bad news. So same thing with absinthe. Also, to make absinthe kind of more affordable, people in the 19th century would add copper, like bits, berries to it to make it green. You're not supposed to drink copper, so that's partly why people were like getting really sick and like not good, and that's partly why it got that bad rap of being hallucinogenic, was because people were cutting corners and being cheap and putting copper in it when it should never happen. Okay, how do you drink absinthe? So there's a couple different ways. Obviously now people use it in cocktails all the time, and I like it 2 ways. So there's the way I make it at home, and then there's like the kind of other 2 ways that you can make it if you have the proper tools and equipment. I don't have the proper tools and equipment because I can't find my absinthe spoon anywhere. I probably left it in Cleveland somewhere. But if you don't have an absinthe spoon, which most people don't have, I will show you a wonderful at home, you can totally make this with all your ingredients type of way. So there's the louche way, which is the traditional way, which you just take a shot of absinthe in a glass and you drip cold water over a sugar cube, and the slotted absinthe spoon allows the water and the sugar to go through, and then that will turn it a milky color, like a milky green color, and that blooms all of the botanicals, and that is your green fairy right there. Then there's the fire way, which you like you take a spoon, soak the sugar cube in absinthe, light it on fire, put it together, and then it burns, and then it's delicious. So that's kind of the version we're gonna do, but we're doing it the like really at home way, shall we say. Okay, so I'm gonna move this back so I have a little space to work. Okay, so I'm gonna use my absinthe. I'm gonna take a glass. I'm gonna measure about, and there's a parrot by my feet. So I'm gonna take about a shot of absinthe and put that in my glass. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna pour a little bit extra in my shot for a moment later. Okay, I'm just gonna take regular sugar because I don't have any sugar cubes. Because I mean, with sugar cubes. Anyway, so we're gonna take a little bit of that. Oh, it's like a, look at that. There's kind of like a sugar lump. Lumps work just as good as cubes. Okay, 1 second. I have to pick up the bird. Can you not walk around right now?
All right, Sam, say hi to everybody. Hi, Sam. All right, come on. I don't want to have something on fire and then have like a parrot bite my toes at the same time. It would just be a really bad combination. Okay. No good. All right, so we're gonna take our little sugar lump. We're gonna pour that little bit of absinthe on it. Oops. And try not to spill it everywhere. So it's kind of like diluting in the spoon. And then I'm gonna take a match and I'm gonna set it on fire. You can kind of see that. Oh, it's so pretty, right? It's burning and it's caramelizing that sugar while it's burning the alcohol. And that's so pretty, right? Yay, blue flames. Okay, so now you're gonna take this, dump it in here, and it's still burning. So it should still kind of be burning in there. Yeah, so you can see that. So and it's burning in the glass. That's totally normal and okay. So now we're gonna put a couple ice cubes and a little bit of cold water. And it should stop burning. Yeah. It's like it's not still burning. Okay. It should stop burning. And it did. So now see how that is a creamy green consistency? And it's got your sugar, it's got your absinthe, and a little nice caramel. And there you go. Ah, delicious. Okay. That's my at-home how to make fancy absinthe. With non-fancy ingredients. It's also made me realize I should probably go buy a absinthe spoon. Okay, unicorns. Seriously, and now the cat's on the table. This is mayhem, mayhem. Awesome, unicorns. Why unicorns? So this, I'm going to. These are paintings I just finished because they're adorable, and I will talk about them in a minute. So this is a self-portrait behind me. It's appropriate that I have Victoria here because that little green, I've got green fairy on the brain. The little red dragon is Victoria, so that's her. So this is the self-portrait as the character I do for performance art is Baby Barbellrella. Baby Barbellrella. And seriously, pets all over the place today. And she is a warrior workout queen that saves the galaxy through opera and Dada poetry, and of course keeping everybody fit. So this character came to me through a series of failed relationships, literally. And Baby Barbarella, like that word, is from a song called Cosmic Girl by Jamiroquai. And so that song had like kind of relevance. No, boo, you can't have the cork. God, sorry. So that song has relevance to me in my life personally, again, because of a failed relationship. But and the unicorn thing, unicorns have always been near and dear to my heart. So as a wee one, I would watch The Last Unicorn every day, along with Neverending Story and Flight of Dragons. And if you haven't seen Flight of Dragons, I highly recommend it. It is very hard to find, but it's probably on YouTube somewhere. It is an amazing, amazing movie. Neverending Story, of course, like I rock out to that like theme song on a daily basis still. And yeah, so those are kind of my three. If you want to understand who I am as a person, like those are kind of the three largest influences in my life ever. So The Last Unicorn was just major for me. And I used to collect unicorn porcelain figures. I have over 20 of them in my house still that I've kept, and I've probably gotten rid of some over the years. I was always just a big unicorn fan from kind of day one, as it were. And so I was called a unicorn by an ex. It was a thing, and then it became kind of a, So anyway, I developed this character as like, fine, I'm a unicorn. you, everybody, you know, and baby Barbarella was born. Either way, I use both. So that she was born, and then this painting I did for an installation at Somart. That was kind of her boudoir workout scene, of course, with a large portrait of herself on the wall. There is actually a workout video on YouTube. If you go to my channel, just type in my name, it comes up, and it's a baby Barbarella workout video that you can work out to, and it's called Buns of Steel. So go for it. It's a 20-minute workout video, and it works. It's great, although you have to be wearing stilettos to do it and drink wine. Unicorns are really interesting. I think it's super interesting because they're making like a funny cultural comeback. Like, I remember a time when unicorns weren't cool. You know, like when you had unicorn candles and like unicorn toys like all over the place like I do, people thought you were weird. Like now they think you're just like edgy and awesome and like really with it, you know? Like it didn't used to be like that. So it's kind of nice that something that is near and dear to my heart has become kind of this like culturally accepted norm in a way. But it is also interesting because how so many people kind of identify with unicorns. The piece I did a few weeks ago, the unicorn and snake goddess, like Princess Celestia is the cosmic snake serpent. I've had so many people tell me like, oh my God, that's like me. I'm like, wow. You know, like I think it's me, but it's like amazing that other people like think that too. So it's amazing that like, you know, this symbol, which unicorns by themselves are really interesting and have a very interesting history as to like what they mean. But you know, now it's just this kind of expression of individuality, you know, in kind of this mass like participated ritual. So individuals and a bunch of people as individuals. And a bunch of people, but you know, like I still think like not everyone identifies as a unicorn, and those that do, I think, have like a funny kind of common you know, camaraderie, as it were, because you know, what does it mean in today's culture to be a unicorn? It means that you're expressive. It means that you're not afraid to be who you are. It means that you're not afraid to have your voice be heard and to express yourself. And so it's kind of a wonderful creative symbol as you know, as just a way to get what's inside out. So but this we'll go back to this for a minute. So this is baby Barbarella. She is a superhero, hence the wings and the superhero leotard. Her cosmic ray guns and her trusty dragon on the side. I painted this in the style of Frank Frazetta, who is one of my favorite artists of all time. Him and Boris Vallejo, obviously there's always like a toss-up as to who's better. I think Frazetta is better, but I also love Vallejo as much, equally, for totally different reasons. I think his kitsch factor is like beyond, and that's why I deeply love him. So this is kind of my homage to Frazetta, to kind of taking a new position on myself or for myself as stepping into this unicorn archetype that I have, you know, really been a part of for so long but haven't been able to express, and becoming, you know, the unicorn that I knew I could be. And, you know, but with that it comes creative expression and freedom to say what's on your mind and freedom to express yourself. And inhabiting that archetype is a really interesting exercise, and it's very liberating. So that's kind of what I take to be as a unicorn. And so I just did these two little unicorn paintings. Well, there's a third one. I'm going to be live painting at Lucidity, so these will be available there. And really just kind of going with the unicorn thing, because it speaks to me, and I know it speaks to a lot of other people, which is super cool. And kids love it. I always get like, my kid would love that. I'm like, yes, I've done something right with the world. Awesome. So quick recap: Absinthe, super easy way to make it. spoon of sugar, absinthe, light it on fire, put it in your glass, stir it around, add some ice and water to it, makes a delicious, tasty beverage that has some anise quality, some fennel quality, but also has like a lot of other kind of earthy notes, kind of fresh, bright notes. Is a really wonderful, delicious afternoon beverage, if you ask Ernest Hemingway and unicorns. So thank you everybody who joined in this week. Next Sunday I will be doing a the same cast at 7 p.m. But it will be from another location than my house, so this should be interesting. So please join in next week, and if you missed the front of the video, watch, and thank you everybody. Love you. Bye.